Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this bag here. I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and set my camera down. This is just decoration. It's just a brooch I put on for decoration. It serves no purpose. It's just pinned on. It does have a magnetic button here, so you can open it up, and it's lined like that. Sewed on liner. Houndstooth, love houndstooth, and then the magnetic button snaps it shut like that. This is just a tassel for decoration, and you don't even have to put the chain on it. I think it would look good if you just carried it, you know, just like this without a chain. So that's completely up to you, however you want to do that. When I went over the materials, I said everything you needed. I did forget to tell you, I'll mention it now, you are going to need a hot glue gun, a low heat hot glue gun. Okay, for this project, I am using Lion Brand Hometown USA. It is a 100% acrylic, super bulky, number 6. And I recommend using the super bulky for this project. There are 81 yards per skein, and you're going to need 2 skeins. So you'll have some left out of your second skein. The color I am using is called Tampa Spice, but you can use any color that you want. And then you're also going to need a magnetic button, one of these here, clasped together, and you hook it with these. Just one. You can get these at Walmart in the button aisle across from the button section, like where the sewing stuff is. You are going to need a piece of plastic canvas that we can cut to the size of our bag to make the bag stiffer. And you're going to need some type of piece of fabric for the liner. I got this at Walmart also in the button aisle right next to it. I think this was like 98 cents or something. And they had all different colors to choose from. So I love houndstooth. So what we'll do is we'll sew the fabric on and we'll slip this in between, and that way you won't see this. You'll just see the lining. And of course you're going to need a regular thread and needle to sew the fabric on, and just some regular pins to hold the fabric in place, if that helps you. Now for a handle, I have just a plain chain that I have. You can get these pretty much probably, they probably have these at Walmart too. I'm not even sure where I got this, but you can see there's no clasps or anything at the end. What I do is I open these up when I get my desired length and hook them together like that. Of course, you don't have to even put a chain on it. You could make your own handle, or you don't even have to put a handle on it at all. It can just be a clutch that you grab without a handle. And for decorations, I got these at Walmart too in the button aisle. This is a brooch. I love blingy stuff. So I got this. Had a couple more real pretty ones, which I'll probably go back and get. But I'm going to put this on there for decoration, and this little gold and diamond tassel for decoration too, which I'll probably hook onto the chain, just on the handle chain, just so it hangs there for decoration. But this is a really easy bag. And you're going to be using also a size N, which is a 9mm crochet hook. Okay, like I said, this bag is really easy. You want to start off with the chain of 26. Now this is just all single crochet, except for the last row. We just do a shell row, and it's easy too. So once you get your chain of 26 done, you want to single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. And then we'll put 1 single crochet in every single stitch until you get to the end of your chain. Okay, when you make it to the end, you should have a total of 25 stitches now. And now every row we're just going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to start by putting 1 single crochet in this very first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in every stitch across. So it's just rows of single crochet. So this would be a great beginner bag. And when you get to the end, you still should have 25 single crochet. Okay, I've made it to the end of row 2. For row 3, it's the same thing. Chain 1 and turn, single crochet right back into that very first stitch, and 1 single crochet across until the end of the row. So we're doing rows of single crochet, and you should have 25 stitches at the end of every row. And you want to do this for a total of 39 rows of single crochet. 39, and you'll have 25 single crochets at the end of every row. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep working until I get 39 rows done. Okay, once you get your 39 rows of single crochet done, I'm going to do one more row, and I'm going to do a shell row with some shells on it, just for some decoration on the flap. So what I'm going to do is chain 3, which is going to count as a double crochet, and then I'm going to turn my work. Now I'm going to go right back into that very same first stitch, and I'm going to work 2 more double crochets. So counting that chain 3, looks like we have 3 double crochets there. And now I'm going to skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, and single crochet into the next. Then I'm going to skip 2 stitches again, skip, skip, and I'm going to put 5 double crochets into the next, and that'll be like a shell stitch. So 5 doubles into that next one. Three, 4, and 5. And now I'm going to skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, single crochet into the next, and then I'm going to skip 2 again, skip, skip, and put the 5 double crochets into the next, and I'm going to repeat this to the end. Well, so there's 5, and then I'm going to skip 2 again, skip, skip, single crochet in the next, skip 2 again, skip, skip, and 5 doubles into the next. 1, 2, 5, skip 2, single into the next, and you'll have 3 stitches left. You want to skip 2 and put 3 doubles into the last stitch, just 3. Like that, and then we can tie that off, so that way we just kind of got a little row of shells there when we pull a flap over. I gotta get my scissors still, but it'll be kind of like that. And you could have left that off if you didn't like it. I mean, if you don't like it, you can take that off. But that is what we got so far. Okay, now what we want to do is get some things cut first. Your plastic canvas, you want to cut it. Now I'm making mine fold, if you count, not counting this row of shells. 2, 4, 6 down. 2, 4, 6 rows. Line it up right there. And that's going to be my fold, like that. So once I get it lined up right underneath that 6th row, I want to cut 2 pieces of plastic canvas just a little bit shorter around. You can see how mine is, just a little bit shorter, because we still have to sew the sides together and everything. We will do that last. And that's a little bit shorter on the bottom, and you want to have 2 of them. And then what you want to do, once you get them cut, it only took me 1 piece of plastic canvas to do that. Open it back up, and you want to take your fabric and you want to cut it to where it overlaps your whole piece like that. And mine's got some creases, but, and what we'll do is we'll fold it in a little bit to get kind of like a 1/4 inch from the edge, maybe a little bit more, and then that's how we'll sew it along all sides except for the top where the shells are. I'm gonna fold it below the shells, but you can do it, you can make it go on the shells if you want, but like that. Okay, it's easiest with this fabric to use these pins here. You just fold it and then pin it like that. That way you can sew it. It's just easier to sew it that way. And that kind of holds it in place like that. But before we do that, we got to put one part of the magnetic button on. So you want to grab this one right here. And it's going to go on the big flap over, like right up here. See, here's this part with the shells. We're going to put this one here. So what we're going to do is pull our fabric back a little bit. Just eyeball it. I kind of line it up with the middle shell here. That's what I do. And just sew right about here. And you just stick it in there. You can count and get it just right if you want, but it's gonna just eyeball it there with that middle shell. So when it folds over, it's gonna be right in the middle of that shell. And you just stick it in there like that and flip it over. Put the back on like that. And then you can use a pair of pliers to squeeze these together, or sometimes it works. I use the table. I should use pliers, but I'll go back and use pliers. But you get the idea, just kind of squeeze that on like that. And then we'll go back. And once you got that piece of magnetic button in, now we can go ahead and start pinning it all up to get ready to sew. So you want to sew it right above that button there. Pin it all down around all the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and get mine pinned down. We're going to put this one on too, but we're going to put that on when we put the plastic canvas in. So we're going to sew the top up last. Okay, once you get it all pinned up, and remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're making it homemade. You get your thread and your matching needle. Go ahead and thread that up. Or your needle and your matching thread. I said that backwards. Well, I was saying it's not going to be perfect because it's homemade. If you wanted something that was perfect, you just go buy it from the store. And even then, it probably wouldn't be perfect. But go ahead and thread up your needle. I double thread it like that. I put 2 together. And then I kind of wrap it around my finger and twist it. And that will make a little knot at the end. That, and I just kind of clip that. Okay, now you can sew this if you sew bags together any way that you want. I know some people whip stitch them like around and around. And remember, you want to start down here where we already put our magnetic button, because we're gonna put one at the top, but we're gonna do that after we sew that all together, or after we sew it all together besides the top. So I'm just gonna start right down here in this far right corner, work my way around, I guess. And when I sew it, I go through, but I don't go all the way through to the other side. I kind of just grab a little bit of the fabric or the yarn, and then I grab it again and I go back up through. And then again, I go back down, grab a little bit of the fabric, or I keep saying fabric, I guess grab the fabric and the yarn. I'm all confused today, I guess. Remember, just don't go all the way through to the other side. Pull it through. And this is kind of what I do the whole way around. It's a little time consuming. Like I said, some people like whip it, stitch it. They go around and around, and that is fine too. I kind of just do little stitches across it. And I keep them as neat as I can and as straight as I can. Try to keep them the same size if you can. And grab a little bit of that yarn, kind of underneath the fabric though, so you're not going through to the other side. And go back up, grab a little piece of the yarn again, and then you go back up. Sewing fabric by hand takes a little, I think lining by hand takes a little time, but it always does make your bag look nice. And I don't know, I just have something for, I love houndstooth with red. I just always have. I think the colors work well together. Grab a little, remember I'm not going all the way through to the bottom. I'm just grabbing a little piece of yarn on the underneath side just to get it attached. And that way when you flip it, there's no stitches on the other side. You won't be able to see any thread. And as you go, you can pull your pins out. See me grabbing a little piece of that yarn, pulling it through. And this is what I'm going to do the whole way around. So what I'm going to do is keep doing this along this bottom side that I have my button on, and along this side. And then I'll stop when I get to here. I won't do this yet, and I won't do this yet. So I'm going to go across the bottom, and then this far left side, and I'll meet you there, and then we'll start putting some of the plastic in and the other button on and stuff. Okay, once you get it sewed on this bottom and this side, and we're at the top here, what I'm going to do is attach my other button. And we want to do that in between the fabric. So we could take out a few of these pins here. And I'm going to line it up with this shell. So what I'm going to do is probably put it right about here, but I'm going to fold this side up just to make sure that it's going to line up okay. Yeah, so I'm going to put it right about here, and then what we need to do is cut a couple slits in the fabric. I should be using this. I don't even have very sharp scissors or anything. It's kind of embarrassing. I try to show you how to do it, and my scissors are all dull. Just a couple little small slits like that, so this will go through, and then do it on, match up the other side and do it here. Just poke a little hole with your scissors or something. Or if you have fabric scissors, that'd probably work better. I guess I need some fabric scissors. And these are all crooked. I don't know. Usually they're straight. I got this magnetic button off another bag. So, like that. And now we're going to clasp it on the inside of the fabric. So we put this on and this on. That way it's not coming through the other side of it's not coming through here. It's going to be inside the fabric. Now, get that on, and then you can use pliers, or just do what I do and press it on your desk real hard. Should work. pretty good. I'm sorry my kids are in there screaming. I don't know why. My husband always gets them riled up all the time. Like that. And now, once you got that good and tight, what I like to do is take a hot glue gun. And I like to just poke a little bit of hot glue just right inside of here. Just kind of glue the button to the fabric. Just a little bit. Like that. And then I like to put a little bit and glue this button, this metal piece to your piece of crochet. That way it doesn't come undone, and that way it's tight too. Make sure you use a low heat hot glue gun though for that, and then you don't have to worry about it coming undone. Hold it there. Like that. And now that's not going to come undone. It's nice and tight. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these pins off. And I am going to slide. I'm going to take these pins off this bottom half down here. And I'm going to slide my first piece of plastic in. You might have to cut it a little bit more since you put fabric in. Yeah, see, mine sticks out a little bit. So you just want to cut it to fit. So I'll cut off a few rows of mine. I hope this tutorial isn't too confusing. Let's cut off a few rows so where it fits inside there. And probably cut the same amount off your other piece. But you want to stick that in there at the bottom. Just like that. And now I'm going to start sewing up this side. Go ahead and take my pins out. Sewing up this side. And the top. Now this other piece is going to go right in between here, but you're going to leave a little bit of a space there so it can fold. Now one other thing I like to do with my hot glue gun is, before I start sewing it all together, is I'm going to make sure I get this where it needs to be, and I'm going to hot glue it down on this one side here so it doesn't come undone. So you know, so it ain't moving around in there. Just a little bit of hot glue is all really it's going to take to hold it. Like that. Make sure it's straight at the bottom. And I'm going to now when I fold this, there's not going to be no plastic up here. But there's going to be a crease here where that's why the plastic is split. So I'm going to put my next piece in here all the way to the end, and I'm going to have to cut a little bit off, like I said, off of this one too, about the same amount that you cut off the other one. If your spit is too big, it may not be. Mine was. So I feel like I'm all over the place with this video, but I'm trying to show you. Okay, I'm going to stick that in there too, like that. And I'm going to leave, make sure it's straight, a little bit of a row there that it will fold. And I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on this one. Hold that piece in there. And if you want, since this isn't, you can dab a little hot glue up in here too, since you haven't got it sewed down yet. But it's not really necessary, but that just holds it a little bit better. Like that. Now I'm going to finish sewing it up. So I'll have to fold this back up, and I can repin it if I need to. But I'm going to finish sewing this side up and then my top up. So I have my buttons on, my plastic's in, and I got that little crease in the middle, so we can fold it. And this will flip over and attach. So go ahead and make sure you test it first so that it's going to work before you sew it all together. yeah, like it's gonna fold and how it's supposed to and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of this sewed on. Just fold it over, put my pins back in. Just put a few of them in to hold it down while I sew it. Like that. So finish sewing this side up and the top up. Okay, once you got your fabric sewed on, we got our plastic set in, we got our buttons on, both of them there, the one in front. Now I'm going to fold it at the crease of our plastic. And then we got this up here that does not have the plastic in it, so it's going to fold down and it's going to button up here. That. Now I'm going to sew it together. So I'm just going to take my yarn and you can slip stitch it if you want. I think I'm just going to use my yarn and my yarn needle this time and just sew the sides up. I got some hot glue on the front of my bag there I got to get off from sewing them buttons or gluing them buttons on. But so what I'm going to do is just line it up here. You can feel where the plastic is and just start right at the top of that and just neatly sew it up. I'm gonna go like that. This yarn's pretty thick, so it's not gonna be really, seam's probably not gonna be too noticeable on it, I don't think. I'm just grabbing a piece here and a piece on the other side, trying to keep the rows lined up, pulling it through and getting it sewed up. So I'm going to do that all the way down this side, and I'm going to do it all the way down the other side. Okay, I got mine all sewed up. I hid my tails. You can see inside. It's all nice and lined. And you can use it like that. Just carry it like that as clutch, or you can put a handle on it. It's up to you. I am going to put some decorations on mine. I got like this brooch. I'll probably put a pin on it. And I'm going to go ahead and put my chain on, because I'm going to use a chain on mine. All I'm going to do is, let me open it back up here, is just hook it to the corner here. Pull it through. Pull it through 2 pieces of it. I need some light needle nose pliers or something, I guess. Probably to grab it. Yeah. Maybe my dull scissors will work for this. There, I'm going to pull it through like that, and then I'll just hook it, open this clamp up, this clasp up, and hook it like that. And that's how I'll do it on the other side too. So I will have to go get some pliers to open this up. But like I said, I'm just going to open this up, pull this chain apart, and then hook it to another chain and close it together. And then I'll do the same on the other side. Okay, I got my bag done. I went ahead, I'm going to move my camera. I went ahead and pinned on my brooch. It's just a brooch. And finished my chain. I got it hooked up to both sides. And then I just hooked this little tassel to here to hang down. And then just set my camera down here. And then it just opens up here with the brooch is just for decoration. You don't have to have that. Oh, the magnetic button opens it right up. And that's it. It's lined and everything. That's it. That's all there is to it. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Till next time, have a good day.